Parliamentary question will be asked by the Honourable Matwe.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. President, what you just said now is not different from what you've been saying over the years. The reality is that your own government has not grown this economy by more than 2%. We're talking today, your own government revised the economic growth that they put last month from 1.8 to 1.4. So there is no economic growth that is going to happen in the medium term. You have not been able, President, to reduce the high levels of unemployment. You have not been able, President, to shield the poor from the high cost of living. We've seen the Minister of Finance now attempting to increase the fuel levy, which will deepen the crisis of our country. So we saw you taking a trip to the US last week. And we're asking ourselves, what strategic economic interventions are you trying to lock in? Because you are saying you went there to mend relations. How is your trip going to assist us, President?
Thank you, Honourable Member. Your time has expired.
President, you dismally failed, Deputy Speaker, to finish, to protect the constitutional ruling that
Honourable
said
Member,
that
your time has
the farmer
expired.
chant is not
Honourable Matwe, your
that
time has
constitute to hate
expired.
speech and does not incite
Honourable Matwe,
violence. So,
Honourable
President,
Matwe, I am now cautioning you. You are going beyond your time and you are not
That's fine.
acting. Honourable Matwe, Honourable Matwe,
You have to protect me.
honourable members,
Yeah.
please give me the opportunity. Honourable Matwe, you are now 40 seconds over your time.
Deputy Speaker, I was disrupted by these people.
No, honourable member, there
President, you
was
failed
no
to protect the
interruption. Honourable
constitutional court.
Matwe, will you please
Unlike President
sit down?
Mbeki,
Honourable
when he had
Matwe,
the
I
safe
am now
platform,
cautioning
he
you.
protected the constitution
Honourable
of this country.
Matwe, will you please leave the chamber? Honourable Matwe, I have been cautioning you a number of times. Now I'm asking you because you are ignoring and disrespecting the chair. Honourable Matwe, I have asked you to please leave the chamber.
Chairperson,
Yes,
you
she
only
must
caution
kindly
them
leave,
once.
Speaker.
How many
Leave the
cautions must you give a member before you eject them from the house?
Which I
You
have.
cautioned her once. You
No,
said that
I did
cautioned
not.
you.
I said
Then she
caution
stepped down.
times. No, after 46 seconds. Honourable Matwe, please leave the chamber. That is my instruction. If you do not want to, Sergeant at Arms, could you please assist? Honourable Matwe.
But Deputy Speaker, is it because he was touching you on the Americans? You can't do that.
Honourable Sergeant at Arms.
No, Deputy Speaker, that's not how we operate. No, that's not how we operate. You want the member. You only just told her that she has spoken over 40 seconds.
Honourable
And after
Mente,
that, she must leave the house. That's not how we work.
That's how you work in the EFF, not in Parliament.
For the time,
Honourable
and
Mente.
you did not stop them.
Honourable Mente, I am also cautioning you. That is now the second one. Honourable Mente and the Sergeant at Arms. I am now calling the Sergeant
It
at Arms.
doesn't change the fact, Deputy Speaker, you can remove us from this
You need
house.
to follow
The
the rules of Parliament when I speak.
Which says still the poor, kill the farmer is a
Please
crime
come and assist
and
the
therefore doesn't
Honourable Matwe.
constitute to a hate speech. That's why you are sitting on that
We are
chair.
trying very hard to impress Julius on our time.
That was
Stop it and go out.
I fuck off when I.
Not in an auction of impressing Julius Malema, man. Can you go out? You don't have time.
You are scared of white
You are
people.
quiet, you are not telling
Honourable
that
Speaker.
one.
We are worshipping white people here.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Now the second one. Honourable
You are
Mente.
scared of white people when I speak. You are scared of white people.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
I'm not recognizing anyone now. You may not, in terms of the rules, intervene at any point
But
whilst a
Deputy Speaker,
member
our
is
hands are
asking.
up here. Can you recognize us as well?
I have just ruled, Honourable Mkalipi, you should know the rules, that whilst someone is being removed, that you may not interrupt the process, because then you are also in breach of the rules. So I am cautioning you, Honourable Mkalipi.
You want all members of the EFF out of that house
Honorable
because you're
Mkalipi, I am cautioning you now for the second time.
But Deputy Speaker, why are you saying
Honorable
you are questioning
Mkalipi,
me
that
while I'm
is now the
quiet?
third time that I'm cautioning you.
But
The
I'm
table,
quiet.
please
Why are you
remove
calling my name while I'm quiet?
Honorable Mkalipi from the
Hey, keep
platform.
quiet. You are not quiet when I'm calling. Keep quiet.
Hey,
Honorable
Kuwena,
Piri.
shut up, Wena, Piri, shut up.
you are scared of white people,
Honorable
Deputy
members, we will now
Speaker.
proceed. Honorable
You are scared of white
Members.
Honorable
people.
Deputy Speaker, can I raise on a
Very
point of
scared.
order?
Honorable members, I'm now cautioning you on the platform. You have not been recognized. And we will now proceed. Honorable Mkaula, order. Honorable Mente, what is your point of order?
The point of order is on you, Speaker, and your unfairness. Honorable Piri there on the platform he has been speaking. You have never cautioned him. You have never thrown him out.
Honorable
Yet,
Mente,
Mkalipi, you have thrown her out. For what good reason?
Honorable Mente, focus. I
No,
have
you are
pointed
unfair.
people-
You are unfair. I'm very focused. You are
Honorable
unfair.
Mente, I am now cautioning you
She's
for
only
the third time.
concentrating on EFF members.
Honorable member
You're only
of the
concentrating
MK.
on EFF member.
Honorable member. Honorable member, I have made a ruling and you do know what you have to do. Once a ruling has been made, you can go to the speaker and then to the rules committee. Honorable President, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I just have a point of order.
Thank you,
You
Honorable.
can't have a point of order.
Deputy
The ruling
Speaker.
has been made. The ruling has been made.
Honorable members on the platform.
That
Deputy
the ruling
Speaker.
has been made. The ruling has been made.
Honorable members on the platform. Order.
May you grant me, Honorable.
Honorable Tutetse, I'm going to remove you from the platform now. Please remove the member from the platform. Honorable Mente, I have now cautioned you a number of times. I am going to next time now ask you to leave the chamber. The same honorable member of the MK. Honorable member of the MK, do you know the rules that if a ruling has been made on the same matter, you cannot raise another point of order? So is this a new point of order? Honorable member, then you go to the rules committee with your complaint. And please do, honorable member, order. We will now proceed, Honorable President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I've now forgotten what the question was. But well, there was a question. I guess I need to respond to it. I think the honorable member's question was, what is it that we sought to achieve by going to the United States? And I think that does require an answer. We were very clear.
Order, honorable members, Honorable Mkaula. Honorable member, I'm not recognizing you now. Honorable President, please proceed.
Thank you. The issue of relations between South Africa and the United States was an issue that occupied many people's minds in our country. And many had raised concerns about the deteriorating relationship between our two countries, having recognized the important role that both our countries play in each other's economy, apart from the various political relations, diplomatic relations. And we realized that the impact on our country's economy would be adverse unless we were able to repair or reset the relationship between our two countries. And to this end, in a telephone conversation with President Trump, when we were discussing other global matters such as Russia and Ukraine, we agreed that we should meet. And it was to this end that we traveled to the United States with a delegation that all of you would have seen as it was broadly televised. We really had three objectives. The first was to reset the relationship between two trading partners, partners that have had dealings over many years and where we invest in each other's economies. The United States has some 601 companies that are invested in South Africa. And we similarly have a number of companies that have invested in the United States. A number of our jobs, some of the sectors that would be affected would be agriculture, the auto sector, and the steel and aluminum sector, and a number of other sectors that make machines, and the mining sector, where we sell critical minerals to the United States, would be adversely affected if the relations were not straightened out. So it was to this end that we were motivated to reset that relationship. The second objective was to set up a process of engagement between the United States and South Africa. There had hitherto been a process of disengaging, where we were no longer really engaging at a government level to deal with issues that governments normally deal with on an ongoing basis. And we wanted to engage on tariffs, on investments, and related matters. And the third objective was to discuss the G20 and to highlight the important role that a country like the United States, which is the largest economy in the world, plays in the activities of the G20, which we are so deeply immersed in and having the responsibility of leading. And that it's important for the United States to engage with the G20 process and ultimately to entice the leader of the United States to come to the Leaders' Summit at the end of the year. So broadly, those were our objectives. And there could be a fourth one, which would be just the promotion of investment by American companies and South African companies in each other's economies. So we do believe that we achieved those objectives. The engagement with the American government has started. Soon after we left Washington, the engagement has now commenced, and there are discussions that are happening in relation to tariffs, in relation to investments, and we believe that we have reset the relationship despite what we could have seen on television. We were able to have a much more meaningful discussion and meeting with President Trump and his representatives during the quiet room where we had lunch together and had meaningful exchanges on a number of issues. And we do believe that the engagement will continue through the G20 process. So that was the main objective of the visit. And we do believe that the United States continuing to play such a big role in the life of our economy, it was necessary and important for us to go and engage with them, because many of our people's jobs are dependent on our economic dealings with the United States. Thank you, Honorable.
You know Parliament's about to turn into a boxing ring when the F walks in with red overalls and a mission. And this time, the mission. One simple question with not so simple consequences. Mr. President, what exactly were you doing at the White House with Donald Trump? Yup, that question got F members booted. Yes, physically removed from the National Assembly. And you thought South African politics couldn't get more dramatic? Grab your popcorn. So let's rewind. President Cyril Ramaphosa recently took a trip to the United States. There were handshakes, flashing cameras, economic talks, and then, the surprise headline, a closed-door meeting with none other than Donald J. Trump. Now, you'd think something that juicy would be mentioned in the president's post-trip report, right? Wrong. Total silence. Not even a, by the way. Enter the F. During a Q&A session in Parliament, the F wasted no time. Julius Malima's crew came in hot, asking, why wasn't Parliament informed about the meeting? What was discussed? And more importantly, What does this mean for South Africa's foreign policy? Fair questions, honestly, but apparently, too hot for Parliament to handle. Speaker of the House tried to shut it down, saying the questions weren't on the official order paper. The F didn't care. They kept pushing. Then came the shouting, the pointing, and yes, the now trademarked phrase, "Honorable members, you are ordered to leave the House." But did they leave quietly? Of course not. This is the F we're talking about. There were chants. There were protests. 1 megapixel even yelled, "We won't be silenced by presidential secrecy." And boom, security was called in. Next thing you know, red overalls are being marched out, arms in the air like they just lost a soccer match. Now, here's the thing. This wasn't just a tantrum. The EFF was tapping into a bigger issue, transparency. If the president meets with a global figure as controversial as Trump, South Africans have the right to know what was discussed. Was it trade, military cooperation, another AGOA deal, or was it just Trump asking for Cyril's skincare routine? What's wild is that instead of answering, the government's response was basically, "You're out of order, get out." And while that might keep the session moving, it raises eyebrows. Because if there's nothing to hide, why not just answer the question? The media picked it up instantly. Headlines everywhere. F disrupted again. Ramaphosa dodges Trump meeting questions, and the ever-popular Parliament descends into chaos. At this point, it might be cheaper to build a boxing ring than keep fixing broken microphones in the House. But let's be real for a second. The spectacle aside, the F did what an opposition party is supposed to do: hold the executive accountable. You might not like their style, but you can't deny they get results. Now everyone's talking about that mysterious Trump meeting. And you better believe next time Ramaphosa gets up to speak, all eyes, and all mics, will be on him. So what happens next? Well, the president's office has remained tight-lipped. The F says they're not done. They're demanding an official explanation and plan to raise the issue again, maybe even in court. And the rest of Parliament? They're probably just praying for one peaceful session without someone getting dragged out. But let's not hold our breath. South African politics never disappoints. It's messy, it's loud, it's unpredictable, but man, is it entertaining. Stay tuned.